Hello Internet, welcome to Games Done Wrongish. Hello, yesterday I got to try out Red Dead Online, the online portion of Red Dead Redemption 2 that is currently in beta, and is being rolled out to players bit by bit. As far as I'm aware, the Ultimate Edition owners got in the first this week, followed by anyone that played the game on the day of release, then by people that played the game in the first 3 days, of which I think I landed in, then everyone else. Nevertheless, I decided to make a quick video of my initial impressions. I'm not going to go into detail on the character creator. There is one, you could choose male or female, skin tone, height, weight, age and all that, but I don't want to take up too much time with that. I want to get down to the gameplay, so I will. If you have played through the story mode of this game as I have, you may get a massive smile on your face when you play the opening scene or two. The realization that the game is not over and you have a reason and story to bring you back in is great, and I was excited to get back on my horse and rip it up in the Red Dead world. Unfortunately, it becomes apparent very quickly that it's not quite the same. The main thing that stands out the most is the fact that your character says absolutely nothing to anyone ever. This was to be expected to some degree, I suppose. It makes it easier to add content updates if they don't have to worry about many different voices to match the character you may have created. But still, I feel they should have made token gestures towards voice acting your character. Even if they were just able to say yup or nah, that would feel a little better than being completely mute. The game itself pokes fun at mutes in single player and this multiplayer, including making fun of your character for being mute. The developers saw this was an issue but tried to gloss over it, and for the most part, I can get over it. As it is an online multiplayer version of the game, a lot of your interaction will come from other players in the game. As such, when you set out on a main story mission, you'll be prompted to join the matchmaking lobby. This will match you with 3 other players that are on the same mission and off you go. This works fairly well right now. There are a lot of people playing the game and they are all around the same level and doing the same content as me, so I was finding groups instantly and having a bit of fun with these missions. I'm not so sure how this will work later on down the line. If you have 3 friends, it's not an issue, but if you are late to the party and are playing solo, you may have some issues. There does not seem to be a way to complete these missions solo. They seem to be only available in a group. There may be incentives later on for higher level players to go back and help the new players with early missions. They may not. I will say may and seems a lot in this impressions video, as even though I have played for 3 or 4 hours, I still feel I have many questions left unanswered. Many more than I had before playing. Before playing online, I was quite confident that I would know exactly what to do in any given situation. I mean, come on, I've played the game for over 100 hours already. What more can there possibly be, right? Well, it seems there can be a lot still to learn, which is fantastic. I simply cannot wait to peel back the layers and delve deeper into it as time goes by. Also, a lot of what you once knew when playing the single player will no longer be available or may be gated in some way. For instance, one mission required me to go kill a wagon load of people. I'm not entirely sure why, I got bad karma for it, but it was what I was tasked to do at the time, so I did it. Once the mass murder mission was complete, I noticed that there was now a fancy wagon left unwanted. Well, seeing as it was no longer required, I figured I would go sell it to the fence. My time in the single player portion of the game gave me the knowledge of a fence that would take just this type of thing off my hands, and they were located at Emerald Ranch. So off I went to the ranch with my newly acquired set of wheels. To my disappointment, upon arrival, the doors did not swing open to allow me to drive in as they did in single player. I could however see the fence himself standing close by, so I went to speak with him. He would buy my other ill-gotten items such as jewellery and watches, but I could not find an option to offload the wagon. After exhausting my options, I decided to go see if I could store it at the stables until I figured out what to do with it. That was a bust too. Eventually I left it at the side of the road and got back on my regular horse and fled. I hope there is a way to offload wagons or keep them for myself at some point, but this is something I need to play more of to find out. The multiplayer missions seem to work quite well for the most part. I think, although more testing is required, but I am pretty sure that friendly fire is turned off when you are grouped up for multiplayer missions. This helps towards teamwork, although if you are not quick on your toes while playing with some familiar players, then you may get left behind a fair bit. I played a few missions. One in particular was a mission in which you needed to go rustle some horses. The mission was fairly straightforward. You and 3 other players ride on into town or the estate in which the horses are being stabled, shoot anyone in your way and ride off with the horses. Just make sure to make your own horse flee before the shooting starts. Insurance can be purchased for your main horses in the game. You get your first horse and its insurance for free once you have completed the introductory missions. The insurance basically ensures that your horse instantly starts to heal if it is critically injured. It's basically an automatic horse reviver that you could apply to a downed horse in the single player game. I'm not sure if this is a one-time use insurance or if it protects your horse for good. Luckily my horse has not yet been fatally injured, so I have not had to find out. In the horse rustling mission, you all wade in together. You can wait and help your teammates and ensure that each of you make it back out alive, but I was playing with random strangers. As soon as anyone was able to mount a horse and get the prompt to take it back to the quest giver, off they went, and that was that. In this particular mission, when you get back there is a lengthy cutscene that advises you that you can bring any more horses you acquire to sell here. You are also automatically removed from the party once you arrive back, so your other teammates are then left to fend for themselves. I'm still trying to work out how the camp works exactly. The basics are you have a camp that you can upgrade just like in the single player game. However, as this is multiplayer, if you do not have a white flag raised in your camp, you can be attacked by other players. I don't know yet what that means as I have not been attacked, but I did arrive at camp one time and noticed that my white flag was lowered, so I quickly raised it while I rested to recuperate. In the single player game you could head to camp and sleep for a few hours. Wake up feeling fresh and your health, stamina and deadeye would all be restored. As a shared multiplayer world does not allow for the passing of time like this, you have to basically sit around your camp waiting for your health, stamina and deadeye to restore. This can take some time at first, but you are advised that upgrading your tent, or sleeping bag as it is when you start out, will allow you to recuperate faster. Initially you are given a spot for your camp, however as you are playing you are supposed to be able to choose alternative spots. Something seems a little off here though, and perhaps it's bugged or not yet complete. I paid 3 times to have my camp moved close by to an area named Great Plains on the map. However, each time I paid to move the camp just moved to another random spot and not where I had requested it to be. After paying $6, which is a lot this early on in the multiplayer game, I gave up and left it where it was situated. Whilst heading back to my camp after a day adventuring, I did notice a number of other players' camps along the way, which got me to thinking that perhaps the reason I could not move my camp here is because it was already occupied by another player. If this is the case, the game does not seem to point that out very clearly, at least to me upon first inspection. Despite the main multiplayer story missions in the world, there are a lot of strangers or random missions scattered around. These continue on many different types of missions such as the wagon massacre I mentioned earlier, or something simple like making a delivery. These missions all may seem simple at first, but they do have added danger that online play brings. For instance, the delivery mission seems simple enough, but you are told that other players can now steal the item you are trying to deliver, messing up your mission and getting away with the loot. Also, you may need to make 2 deliveries, but it seems to me that you can only carry 1 package at a time, so I had to leave the other one at the train station whilst I delivered the first bag. When I returned to the train station, another player had picked up my delivery. I instantly drew my weapon to retrieve it when they suddenly dropped it and fled instead. I thought nothing of it, picked up my bag and continued on with the delivery mission. This had somehow though triggered the other player to see me as an enemy. I don't know if it was their fault for picking up my bag or if they had also started the same mission and suddenly realised I was getting away with the package. Either way, as I arrived at the delivery spot, the other player also arrived behind me and opened fire on me. I had already initiated the delivery and as such was stuck in a sort of cutscene so they could not attack me. Once I regained control, I got into a bit of a scuffle with the player and eventually finished them off with a headshot. My mission was complete, I had no reason to hang around anymore, so I just moved on. I have no idea if the other player then failed the mission or what they planned to do next, but the whole attack was not my fault. Later on I completed another mission and saw 2 other players heading to the same point, possibly to also complete the same mission. I hung around to see how it would look from my point of view when someone else completed a mission. This was a mistake. As they could see another player on the map and were playing in a group, they attacked me. I should have beat the first guy, but I was caught unawares and basically fumbled and got knocked out. I was spawned instantly just a few meters away, so I returned and acted out my revenge. Unfortunately though, I took down the other player in the group and not the guy that defeated me. Once I realised this, I also took him down too. Then I had both of them respawn on me and had to take them both down again. Before this repeated itself too many times, as I felt I had received my justice, I left and moved on to another area. These encounters did allow me to see just how much griefing and disruptions can occur in such a small amount of time. I will need to play a lot more to see if these become annoying when you are trying to complete missions, or if it all adds to the fun of being an outlaw with danger around every corner. Whatever the outcome, I am really enjoying Red Dead Online right now, and I hope it continues for a long time to come. I will be streaming regularly on all popular streaming platforms. The links to those will be in the description below if you want to come and hang out sometime. Until then, bye bye. If you like this video, please consider watching another. 2 suggestions will be on screen now. Also, if you have not subscribed already, please do so by clicking the icon in the middle of this screen. Every view and subscription will go a long way to helping the channel grow, and in turn will result in more content for you. Thank you, and until the next time, goodbye.